You are someone who is looking to start playing the game before the biggest update of the year, Warframe 1999, or someone who is coming in after the update. Nonetheless, you searched up on YouTube a beginner guide and came across this video. Well, hello there. Today, I'm gonna be giving you the best tips and tricks, first of all, and then I'll be telling you where you can farm a lot of resources, credits, Endo to level up your mods, and I'll be telling you where you can level up your Warframes as well, and also make the premium currency in around 2 or 3 days of starting the game, if not even earlier. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tips, and let's get into the video. You have loaded up the game and it plops you down into a cinematic where you will slowly learn a little bit about the game. Now, if you haven't actually loaded up the game, then I'll quickly explain it here. For the people that did, you can click and skip the timeline down there. But quickly, you get plopped down into a cinematic, learn about the Warframe lore and a little bit of Warframe itself, and then you get the option to choose your first Warframe. I would highly recommend you choose Volt. Volt is a very versatile Warframe early in the game. He can do basically every single mission type that you're going to need. He can do it fast, he can protect himself, do a lot of damage, but you can choose either one because you can get all three pretty early in the game. Once you're playing the mission, there is this big boss enemy war that you have to kill and finish off to get yourself free to roam around in Warframe. Before you do that, you're gonna pick up some weapons along the way. Honestly, choose wherever you want here. I'm not gonna give you any tips on purpose because you should experience this for yourself. The game will to slowly teach you a little bit about the movement, which is very good. Keep those tips about movement in mind and always check your key bindings on how you slide, the jump around, because you can combine all of these to do things like aim glide, for example. That's when you double jump, which you can also do, and then hold down your right click where you're gonna slow down time and then shoot enemies. You can also do, for example, a slide and then a jump, doing a bullet jump. There's many movement mechanics in Warframe. You can wall run as well, many cool features, so always play around with it. Movement is very important in Warframe. Warframe is a very fast-paced game. You can make it slow if you want to though. So you have completed this first sort of mission, and once you're doing this quest, to not prolong it any further, you're slowly going to be, I guess, directed basically where you need to go to get yourself free. Now, the main thing that happens here is you kill War and you get the scarab off of your leg, and now you're free to completely roam around in Warframe. And here is where the rest of the people are joining. Hello guys, we're back here. So you have your chosen first Warframe, you have also your weapons, and now you have no idea what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. First of all, starting with Warframes. There are many different Warframes in the game. Each one of them has 4 abilities, and they also have 1 passive ability. Some have more, but that's a completely different story. Now, all of these abilities are completely unique. They do many different things. One of the best recommendations for Warframes that I could give you is gonna be getting Rhino, Zephyr, Wukong, Volt, Mag. Those are gonna be some of the beginning Warframes that I recommend you get. Alongside your Warframe, you need to bring some weapons as well. You did pick up a couple at the beginning of the game, but you're not gonna use them for long. Weapons in Warframe are varied. There's shotguns, laser rifles, grenade launchers, grenade pistols, gun blades, katanas, massive swords, big axes, many different varieties. Many different weapons actually have special and cool unique features, so that's very good as well. I would honestly recommend you guys test out as many weapons as possible, check out if they have a unique trait or not, and try out and see which weapon fits your playstyle and suits you the best. Some of the best recommendations I can give at low ranks are going to be the Boltor, the Carrick, the Dual Zorin, the Lex, Galatine. These are some weapons that are guaranteed to be good. They're mainstays in Warframe, and at low ranks they pretty much dominate. As I said, you don't have to get them, but they are highly recommended by me and also other players of the community. Weapons reach rank 30, some reach rank 40, but that's a little bit later down the line. Always check when you max out a weapon if it can be crafted into another weapon, for example, because you don't want to sell a weapon and then need to get it again. And always make it level 30, never sell it under that. Of course, there are prime variants of weapons as well. Same with Warframes, give better stats, or these are mainstays in your Warframe inventory, and max these out and never sell them. Talking about leveling, most weapons in the game go up to rank 30, some go up to rank 40, but that is a completely other story. How affinity and XP works in Warframe, the affinity that you gain throughout the mission gets spread evenly to every single item in your loadout, meaning your companion and meaning your Warframe and weapons as well. No matter if they're rank 30 or not, the affinity will still get split between them. The less items, for example weapons and companions, you have equipped, the more affinity that items remaining will be gained towards that Warframe and of course that weapon as well. The higher the weapon is, the higher capacity you gain, and the higher it is for your Warframe, the further you unlock its abilities and rank them up even further. The best place to gain affinity honestly at the beginning is just by playing the game and playing the missions that you want to play. Longer missions and Dark Sector missions, as I mentioned earlier, are better options. You will unlock Sanctuary Onslaught and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught not long from now, so that is gonna be the better option at farming affinity for your weapons. But for now, honestly, just keep on playing what you keep on playing. Now you have everything ready, now you can go and kill those enemies. Oh wait, just a second, you actually forgot to mod your Warframe and your weapons. Now actually go back to your arsenal, let's go back to modding your Warframe. Let's cover mods in general. Mods you're gonna pretty much get from enemies, you're gonna get a lot of them, you're gonna get rare ones through special means and special locations. Honestly, most of them later down the line you're gonna be getting by trading with other players, and most of them you're probably already gonna just have to level them up. Each mod has a certain amount of capacity you can level it up. It can be 1, it can be 3, it can be 5 and 10 and even less and somewhere in between. The better and higher level up it is, the more and effective it is going to be. Now slowly you're gonna be gathering up Endo. Watching the guide you're gonna see a little bit of a tip where you can farm a lot of it, but for now let's go to equipping your Warframe with mods. First of all, open up the modding screen and you have a 1 at the top slot and you have 8 other slots. Now that slot can or cannot be polarized. For example, you can see that this slot has a little bit of a symbol in the corner. This symbolizes that it is polarized with a corresponding polarity being a V, a dash, or a D polarity. You know by the way that it actually looks. As you can see, this one looks like a V, that meaning it's a V polarity. The polarity, what it means is when you equip a mod inside of that slot, it's going to reduce the mod capacity, meaning for example, let's say Intensify maxed out costs 11, if I put it inside of here it's gonna cost for example 6. That is going to be very good, and you can equip these by using Forma. Forma you can gather up pretty much all over the place, I'll talk about it a little bit later on. Now the top slot is the Aura slot. In this slot you can place specific mods, let's say like Steel Charge, Corrosive Projection, Energy Siphon, and all of these will give you a squad wide buff, and it will also increase the mod capacity of your Warframe, allowing you to place even more mods onto your Warframe or just stronger mods. But you can also equip an Orkan Reactor on your Warframe, which is gonna double your mod capacity for your Warframe. I recommend you put your first one on a Warframe that you think you're gonna use a lot. If you use a Warframe like Volt, like I recommended, I would honestly put it on him because he is going to be very useful throughout most of the star chart and is going to be incredibly good with that Orkan Reactor installed. What this does is allows you to put on more mods. What mods you should actually focus on putting on your Warframe? The first ones I would go for health and shields and armor. That means we are gonna go for redirection, vitality, and steel fiber. If your Warframe has more health, put on more vitality. If it has more shields and utilizes shields more, put on redirection. Later down the line you're gonna realize which Warframe functions better with which, so it doesn't really matter. For now, just focus on surviving and that's it. The second tier of mods, I guess you could say, that I recommend you put on are gonna be Intensify, Continuity, Stretch, Flow, Streamline as well. These are gonna increase your capabilities of your Warframe, increasing the strength, duration, the range, the amount of energy you have, and the amount of efficiency you have on using those abilities, increasing your Warframe's base stats. So these are going to be incredibly good. You have more complicated mods which give you a positive and a negative, but you're gonna get these in around a day or so, but you should equip these at, I guess, the third tier, when you have your Warframes a little bit leveled up, a little bit formed, and then you should put these mods on. Most Warframes actually do have augment mods, which actually change out on what the abilities of the Warframes actually do. These augment mods can be gained from Syndicates, which we will cover later down the line, but you can also get these by trading with other players, which is going to be pretty good, and they're pretty cheap, around 10 platinum, so you can get them even early on in the game. Luckily enough for you, modding is not any simpler in Warframe, so I'll try to simplify it as much as I possibly can. And let's take our beautiful bolter for an example. The bolter controller. As you can see, it has 8 slots, one of them being polarized with a D polarity, and there is an Exilis slot on the side, but we don't care about that at the moment. You can see the stats on the left hand side as well. You can see that we have 41 puncture damage, meaning that we're primarily gonna do puncture damage. If it were anything else, you would do primarily that damage. So we don't have great critical chances, but if a weapon has above 16% critical chance, what I would highly recommend is you put critical chance mods on and critical damage mods on. Always focus on pure damage, force abrasion, point blank for shotguns, Hornet strike for pistols, and then pressure point for melee. Always focus on those, and that is the first thing that you want to equip. If it doesn't have somewhere around 16% critical chance, focus on elements. The best elements for a beginner player are going to be corrosive and heat. Corrosive you're going to get by combining electricity and toxin. This will reduce the enemy's armor up to 80 when you stack up enough, which is pretty good, and then heat is going to reduce it even more and dealing some damage as well. If you don't have enough mod capacity, just equip heat. That's going to be plenty of enough. Later down the line, you're going to equip multi-shot mods, which are going to be pretty good. If you get those, then that is the second thing that I would put on a weapon, because multi-shot mods are very, very nice. When you get a multi-shot mod, just equip that when you equip the damage mod. Melee weapons have a different loadout. This is how it looks for a melee weapon. Every single melee weapon has a certain stance, so there are different stances for different melee weapons. These will also increase your mod capacity, same with the auras with Warframes, and both of them have arcanes, but those are something further down the line. That's why I didn't talk about arcanes, because we're not focusing on those. For melee weapons, pretty much functions the same. Equip your pressure point, equip your critical damage, critical chance mods if you have. Because you don't have multi-shot here, Berserker Fury or attack speed is going to be incredibly good, and then just focus on heat damage, and also what you want to focus on is viral damage. If you have a lot of slash damage on your melee weapon, viral is going to be pretty good, because viral boosts damages that deal damage directly to health. So slash with viral is incredibly good. You get viral by combining cold and also combining toxin. Keeping in mind that the mods read from left to right, so you need to put toxin and cold first, and then you will get viral, and then you need to put on heat, because if you put on heat before you put on cold or viral, you're gonna get a different status combination, so keep that in mind. But everything pretty much functions the same. You have your Warframe equipped, you have your weapons equipped as well, and now all you really want to do is go in space and kill enemies. But before you do, slow down Space Buckaroo, we actually have to cover Mastery Rank first. What is Mastery Rank and where do I see it? First of all, if you look in your top left corner, you will see your little icon with a number inside of it. That is your Mastery Rank. Higher your Mastery Rank is, the more cool features of Warframe you're going to unlock. Also gaining increased daily standing for Syndicates, gaining new loadout slots, and many cool different things. It will always display it, and there is a Mastery Rank test tied to it. You can only do it once per 24 hours, so you can't level up to Mastery Rank 1 and then Mastery Rank 2 the next literally 3 hours. You have to wait a full 24 hours before that happens. Mastery Rank is increased by leveling up your Warframes, your weapons, your companions as well. You're going to be leveling up Arch Wings, which are wings that will allow you to actually fly in space, and many different things. Also by completing nodes on planets and also completing the junctions to new planets as well. Don't even sell off your Warframes, your base variants, because you're gonna need them in a system that you're gonna unlock well through the Mastery Rank system. So keep that in mind. Warframes give you the most amount of Mastery Rank, Conjunctions actually give you a pretty decent amount as well, and weapons are pretty good. Companions are, I would say, like the third or second best. Keep those in mind when you're leveling up stuff, because companions you can honestly switch them out and just use whichever one you want, but there is a special one that we will talk about. Cool companions aside, another cool thing that I want to talk about is quests. I would highly recommend you do the quests. They are not going to reward you with any Mastery Rank. They are going to reward you with progression through the game, unlocking cool new features, like for example the Arch Wings that I mentioned earlier. You're going to be unlocking your first companion. You're going to be also unlocking Nightwave, which is the free battle pass in Warframe, and many different things. You can also unlock some different Warframes through quests, and that is going to be very nice. You have a lot of downtime while your warframes and weapons are crafting, so I'd highly recommend you do them in the meantime. You unlock most of the quests by completing junctions, and Warframe will feed them to you occasionally, so you can do them on and off, and highly recommend you complete every single one. One of the best tips and the biggest tips that I always give is joining a clan. All you need to do is go down in chat, into recruiting chat to be specific, and wait for a clan to advertise themselves. Then you can talk to the person, they're gonna invite you or not. When you join a clan, it is gonna allow access to many different warframes and weapons, allow you to trade with players much easier just by inviting them to your dojo. You can actually even make your own clan, but it is a little bit resource and credit demanding, and you won't really get the weapons unlocked. In my honest opinion, join a clan at first, play with the clan, get your weapons, get your warframes, and then later down the line you can leave the clan, make your own, and do whatever you want. I have briefly mentioned the Nightwave, and it is the next tip of the day. Now, Nightwave is the free and only battle pass in Warframe. There's no premium version here, this is the only one. To actually charge it up and reach the next rank, which there are 30 of, all you need to do is complete weekly and daily tasks. These are incredibly easy to do. They're like kill 200 enemies, complete 15 missions, gather up 20 resources, kill this boss once, complete these 3 missions. There are many different varieties here, and they're incredibly easy to do. Warframe is pretty generous with the amount of time that they give you to complete this. You can get to level 30 incredibly easily without needing to do every single one. There's no rush, you're not missing out. The rewards are incredibly good. It will reward you with Forma, Orkin reactors, catalysts as well, with Warframe and weapon slots, which are very useful, and the most useful thing is of course Warframe cosmetics, which we all love and all want. So Nightwave, definitely do it, complete it. It's very nice and very profitable and lucrative as well. One of my best recommendations is always check alerts in your navigation, because alerts can reward you with Forma, Orkin reactors, Orkin catalysts. Some rare ones can actually reward you with boosters, can reward you with some weapons and skins as well. These are going to be very nice. There's usually some kind of a drop after a dev stream, so that's going to be pretty good, which leads me on to the next thing. Go onto the internet and go and search up Warframe, go into their site and then log in. You can enable 2-factor authentication here, you can connect your Twitch account. Honestly, these are going to be pretty good. They're going to give you a 3-day affinity booster. They're actually going to allow you to trade, because you need 2-factor authentication to trade with other players, and you're also going to get a cool cape, so that's very nice. Having done all of that, syndicates are going to be pretty good to unlock. You've hopefully done some quests in the meantime, and if you didn't, you're gonna unlock this by completing a quest. Syndicates will allow you to get augment mods for your Warframe. When you level them up, you slowly level them up over time, gaining standing just by doing missions and playing them. You need a little bit of a sacrifice to rank up to the next one, but when you reach their second to last rank, you're gonna be able to get the augment mods, allowing you to sell them to other players. So it is an investment worth doing, and always rank them up. Don't forget them, because you're gonna be having your daily standing wasted and not doing anything. Before starting any mission and before continuing any mission, if you already have done some, one of the mods that I recommend highly that you get is the Loyal Retriever mod for your Kubro. This mod costs around 5 platinum. It increases your chances of doubling a resource or credit drop by 13%. This doesn't happen out a lot, but believe me, it is going to be very useful. This is something I wish I had when I started off the game. One of the greatest things as well for farming resources is excavators. You're gonna get excavators later down the line, and you can buy 2 variants. One is for farming rare resources and one is for farming common resources. I recommend you get this one, the gold one, which farms rare resources, and plant it on a planet that you need resources on. If I need neurons, I'm gonna place it on Earth, and you do it like this. I'm probably showing it in the background, hopefully, if I edit it correctly. This might reward you with a rare resource. It will give you good resources, and it's passively earning it for you. Talking about resources, the best way to farm up resources, for example, let's say the rare ones. On Earth we have neurons. You know they're rare because when they drop, they have a greenish glow to them. When you play the game and progress through the maps, you're gonna know which ones are which. The best way to farm them, if you need, let's say, 3 neurons real quick, do an extermination mission or do a capture mission. Try 3 or 4 runs, see if they go well, and hopefully you get it. If not, then go into a longer mission, preferably a dark sector mission. Then you can enter these missions. This is what they look like. They will reward you with more resources. Stay, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes, or if you're doing excavation, let's say 3 rotations of excavators, and that's pretty much it. You're also gonna need a lot of that moolah, a lot of those credits, and the best place to get credits as a beginner player is definitely gonna be, say, meny on Ceres. It took me around 2 or 3 days to get on Ceres on and off. It's not that hard to get there. When you get to Semini on Ceres, this mission, stay for 5 waves of the defense and then leave. It will reward you with 23k credits. It won't reward you with more if you stay longer because those are just the mission rewards. Repeat this mission a couple of times and you're pretty much set for credits. Credits are used for purchasing almost everything in the game. You might have noticed that most of the weapons and Warframes are for platinum, but you can purchase them for credits inside of the market, and you're gonna need credits for pretty much everything, so I would highly recommend go there and try to get as many credits as you possibly can. Alongside credits, you need a lot of Endo. Now for Endo early game it is quite difficult, but one of the best places, I guess you could say most reliable, is going to be on Earth. It is gonna be Tikal. Tikal was my best excavation mission, or I guess the easiest mission that I could do on Earth, farming neurons for example, as well as cryotic, getting myself a little bit of Endo and credits on the side. The best thing that you can do is once you unlock Maru's Bazaar on Mars, you can go and do the weekly Ayatan hunt once per week. The Ayatan sculptures are gonna reward you with around 1000 or even above 2 or almost 3k Endo, which is going to be pretty good for a new player. I would also recommend the open worlds. Inside of these open worlds you can get many different Warframes and weapons as well. We have 3 of them. We have Cetus, and that's gonna be Plains of Eidolon, that's gonna be on Earth. We have Fortuna or Valis, which is on Venus, and then we have Deimos, and that is going to be the Cambion Drift. Honestly, the one that I like the most, and I guess is the most future-proof, is gonna be the Cambion Drift or Deimos. Leveling up all 3 of them and seeing which one you like the most is going to be pretty good. Every single one of them has something cool. The Profit Taker is inside of Orb Valis, and it is going to be a great resource for credits later down the line. Farming up your first Prime Warframe and weapon is going to be done by opening up Relics. You gain Relics by doing different kinds of missions. The higher the level mission, the better the era relic is going to be. That necessarily doesn't mean it has to be all the time, but it is generally like that. Some of the best locations for early game players is going to be Dark Sector missions. Defense missions are going to be pretty good on Earth, for example. Later down the line, you're going to unlock new spots and even find some on your own. Each one of these relics has a different drop table. You can also refine these relics through the relic refinement system. You unlock this pretty early in the game, so you don't have to worry about it. You find them with void traces. You gain void traces by completing void fisher missions. They're right here in your navigation bar. Depending on what kind of access do you have on the planet that you're on, you will have access to those missions. Try to complete fast missions. Those are going to be the best ones because you're going to be getting a lot of prime parts. Now, I don't recommend you sell them. I don't recommend you try to craft a set and then sell it as well, because as a new player you're probably going to need it and it's not worth the platinum. You can make platinum in different means by watching the guide just a little bit further. These are the ways you can gain Forma as well. Playing in a squad is going to be my best recommendation that I can possibly give you because there are higher chances of getting better rewards. Does 50 starting platinum. You start off with 50 platinum in the game, and the best recommendation that I can spend it on is 1 Warframe slot, preferably not on any cosmetics. Please don't do it. I was the one who bought a Sandana and it wasn't worth it for 50 platinum. You can get yourself a Warframe slot, 2 weapon slots as well, and then save up a little bit of the platinum. You will not be able to trade it, but another weapon slot would be pretty good. Other than that, Organ Reactors and Catalysts, you're gonna get a couple at the beginning of the game. Same goes for Warframes and weapon slots through Nightwave. Those are my best recommendations. And now you're actually gonna farm up platinum. Let's tell you the fastest way to farm up platinum. If you followed every single tips and tricks along this video, you are able to get to this point. You have completed all of Earth. You're going to Venus, you have completed Venus, all of the nodes and the tasks for the Mercury junction. You moved on to Mercury. If you haven't, then move on to Mercury, complete Mercury, go back to Earth, and then complete the Mars junction. You will have quests along the way, you will have missions along the way that I highly recommend you do. If not, you have probably gone back to this video and you're watching it now, so hello. Then go to Mars, complete the tasks for the Ceres and Phobos junction. You're gonna have to go to Ceres, of course, if you want to farm those good resources. Go to Phobos as well, you're gonna be having access to a pretty good Warframe here. Bleed the Heart of Deimos quest and unlock Deimos. You have unlocked Deimos, completed that. You are probably in a clan, and go inside of your clan dojo into the Orkin lab. Get your 4 dragon keys here. Once you get these 4 dragon keys, you will be able to go into your foundry, craft them, equip them into your gear wheel like so, and then go to Horrend on Deimos. You're searching for this vault right here throughout the mission, complete the mission, capture the target, exit. You get a gold mod, and it's probably worth 9, 10, 12, 15 platinum. You sometimes will get lucky, sometimes you will not have luck, but these mods are gonna be called corrupted mods. These give you a very good bonus. There are mods like Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, Overextended. These are the double mods that I talked about earlier, giving you a positive and negative stat. Save up some for yourself, for your Warframes, and sell some of them on the market. Some of them are worth nothing, some of them are worth some platinum. Go into chat and spread them around. I actually do have a fully dedicated guide on this and how to do it in the little eye up there, so you can go and check that out. Hopefully you have learned everything that you wanted in today's video. I definitely tried a lot and I've definitely enjoyed this account, starting off from scratch, seeing how it is for a new player, how it feels, and how different it is for me, someone who played over 4,000 hours of this game on my main account, and how different it was for me when starting off the game. There are many different tips and tricks that I have missed out. Hopefully you guys can leave it in the comment section down below. This is one of the best communities in gaming and I completely love it. A lot of helpful people here. Check out my videos for different builds and guides and everything. Check out other people's videos. I do have a channel membership. I don't advertise it a lot, but it would mean the world to me if you guys can subscribe. Toasted Spectre, thank you so much for I think 4 to 6 months now. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and it helps out a lot. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below on what you think of the guide, and this has been me, your lovely host Weasel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.